All right, welcome back to another edition of Bears Film Room. We have a Saturday morning pod for you. We're going to go ahead and preview the Bears versus Steelers game, and we're super excited about this one. Before we hop in, my name's Dave, cover the Bears for SM, joined my good friend, co-host, also Chicago Bears writer for SM, Ficky, and we are going to, like I said, have a lot to talk about. Unfortunately, on the injury side, the Bears are just dealing with. I don't think I remember a year where they have had this many injuries on one side of the ball. Typically, it's kind of spread out evenly. I would say most teams kind of deal with both an offense or a defensive injury. Now it's like the entire defense is taking turns, taking extended time out. And we're going to get to that injury report here in a little bit. So before we do, though, Vic, man, how you doing on this Saturday morning?
Feeling good, man. I love these Saturday morning pods. I know me and you both got our coffee, even coffee, chugged that, injected into our veins, but I'm doing pretty well. No football, no IU football today for me, so I guess they can't lose, so I'm happy about that, but overall excited, man. Thanksgiving's right around the corner, and then we got Black Friday against the Eagles next week, so yeah, I'm pumped. How about you?
Yeah. First of all, Even Coffee, check it out. Use code BFR for $5 off. I keep saying it, really cool partnership with them. Chicago-based coffee that supports mental health. It does not get much better than that. So single serve pods, me and Fick have them every Saturday morning. So if you want, shoot me a DM, tell you more about it. But just check them out for us. But I'm feeling okay, Fick. I'll be honest. I have a really bad feeling about this game.
I saw that when I was creating the slides.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, okay.
We'll get to everything in a little bit, but yeah, I don't feel great about this one, even with it being at home. But as far as that though, playing really good in co-ed softball. My softball league hit a couple game winners, a couple walk-offs.
Yep. You know what?
It's been a lot of fun.
I almost thought about doing, but I was like, maybe I'll not. But I was gonna edit the one you did to Father Stretch Your Hands. I think the most recent one you pointed, you did. But the only problem is I couldn't see exactly where the ball was going out, so I was like, I need a better view.
You can thank my wife on that one.
It's a hard. I mean, look, you got a fence in front of you, so good luck trying to see a ball.
Plus, there's excitement and everything. So
yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. You know, it's funny. I've been trying to get into softball. That's like the game I want to start up again because I feel like it's less injury prone. But I haven't really found a league. It looks so fun. Taxing.
Yeah, it's good.
It's like
with
basketball.
I'll
break my ankles. Yeah, for sure.
But no, other than that, though, I'm really, really good. Bears are 7-3. Last week was great. Yeah, we'll take it. I'm excited to kind of preview this one and hop right into it. So, like I said, it's kind of been it's been a hell-ish season for the Bears defense as far as injuries. Do you want to kind of hop over to that?
Yeah, well, before that, I would say this. It's like whatever Detroit had last year, right? They just spread it to us. Whatever virus they picked up in their locker room, it has been affected on us. Because if you remember, Detroit last year, I think led the league in time missed from their whole roster, and a majority of it was on their defense. I think they had like 10 or so players, and I think we're on the same track, right? And we'll talk about what's on the injury report for this week. But if we just think about people that have missed time so far, at least one game this year, and injuries are going to happen, of course. So you're not going to be perfect, but you got Tyreek Stevenson, you've got TJ Edwards, Kyler Gordon, Tremaine Edmonds, Jaquan Brisker, Terrell Smith, another corner I feel like I'm missing. Oh, Grady Jarrett, Javon Dexter. He didn't miss time.
No, he hasn't missed any.
Oh, Dio. And then there's another defensive end that's missed time as well because Shamar Turner. Yeah, he missed a lot early.
He's out now.
That's like 9 on my hand, bro. You only have 11 players on the field at once. So, in other words, it hasn't been great, like you said. I was thinking about it yesterday. I'm like, holy cow, bro. It's like almost every single person has been touched with the bug, which is tough. It's the NFL. It's a dangerous sport, but still.
Woo. No, it's on. Yeah, let's get to that injury report, Vic, actually.
Yeah, let's do it.
A good segue.
Let's do it. All right, like every week, it feels like we have a novel on here, right? I mean, Jesus,
it's crazy.
A whole chapter book. But the big ones here, which is crazy to call out, is our linebacking core. Tremaine Edmonds had a groin. He did not participate all week, so he's out. TJ Edwards, who's already, like, this isn't new, but he's dealing with that same hammy, did not participate. He's out all week. So then you're like, okay, well, at least we have Noah Sewell. He's been backing up, you know what I mean? Backing up TJ Edwards. Well, guess what? He has an elbow injury. He was a do not participate all week, and he is out. So literally all 3 linebackers, right? Which we normally don't have 3 on the field at once, but your 2 starters and your backup are literally out. So it looks like, Dave, me and you might have to be suited up on the pads and get out there because they need help there. It's not looking great. And then some other ones here. Travis Homer is out. He has a hammy and a knee. He didn't participate all week. Roschon Johnson, bro, I swear ever since, we've drafted him, he might be the most injured player on this team in the past 3 years because every week he's not playing. So he has an injury. Thumb did not participate all week. And then Theo Benedict so that's all the outs. Now, the good news is we have Theo Benedict who has a quad. He's questionable, but he was limited for 2 days, so I'm expecting he'll play. Jaquan Brisker, who's on it every week but seems to play. He had a shoulder injury. I think that was the same as last week. Did not participate, but he was a full the past 2 games. And then the big ones on here, Kyler Gordon, Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson was full the past 2 days. Maybe he plays. I don't know, but he's listed as questionable. And then Kyler Gordon was limited the 2 days, but then full on Friday, and he's also listed as questionable. And then everybody else, Kevin Byard, Drew Dahlman, Grady Jarrett, Tyreek, DeAndre, Joe Tooney, Darnell Wright, they're full participants, so they'll be ready to go. So bad news, we have no linebackers at all. Good news, we got our secondary, hopefully, back. So what's your thoughts on that injury report? Do you think the good outweighs the bad?
Yeah, I'll be honest here. So the plan B right now looks like it's DeMarco Jackson.
Yep.
Underrated signing. Familiar with Dennis Allen. Actually pretty comfortable with that. Ruben Hippolyte, not so much.
Right.
And they're probably going to play a whole lot of nickel defense at this point. You can't trust. So with that being said, if you get Kyler back, you get Jalen Johnson back, which I don't think is going to happen because it's a short week. You play Philly on Friday. I don't know necessarily believe that we're going to get our secondary back. And so that's why I'm even more worried because now you got potentially Aaron Rodgers. And it pisses me off because I now understand why he's probably trying to play. Because if those guys don't play and their secondary still doesn't come back this week, he's going to be picking apart like a very watered down Chicago Bears defense. And so then it might be a shootout. Be cool to see Caleb win that. But I don't feel great about this at all, Fick. I love Tremaine Edmonds. He's playing some of his best football this year. For sure. TJ Edwards, we've been missing him. His speed, his sideline to sideline. That duo right there is, I would put it up there with some of the best in the league this year. It's been unbelievable. The way they play off of each other. TJ Edwards, he's always kind of getting his hands, tipping everything. And then, of course, Edwards is right there. Right? He has a pick. But I think the last time I played, that played out that scenario. So I'm excited to get a kind of healthy all of these guys back, maybe for the Philly game, but I just don't know the extent for Edmonds with that groin injury, which I was looking back. I was like, when did he get hurt? And it was at the end of the Minnesota game where he was I think it was the final drive of JJ McCarthy. And it was basically chased, I think it was Jordan Addison to the sideline. And then Addison dove, so he jumps over him. And then he kind of comes up limping, and I didn't think much about it. And here we are, and he's out. It's such a crazy turn of events for this Bears defense. And shout out to Dennis Allen. He's got to be like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
This is getting ridiculous. Ben Johnson, meanwhile, is like, I lost Braxton Jones. And that was probably a blessing to these guys.
Yeah, that's it. He hasn't really had much injury.
It's been, knock on wood, they've been really healthy for the most part. So,
it's going to be interesting. I mean, obviously, there's 2 big factors when it comes to injuries, when it comes to this game, right? Mm-hmm. Is Aaron Rodgers playing? Yes or no? We still don't know that. And we'll get to their injury report here in a second. And is Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson playing, right? If they come back, I feel much better about the defense. Obviously.
Yes.
But I feel like they can survive in nickel with CJ, Kyler, and obviously having JJ is huge, right?
Absolutely.
That makes you feel a lot more comfortable. But I agree with you. If it's you're not rushing them back, and I'm not saying you should because I don't know their actual medical history, right? I trust the Bears trainers and whatnot. But if they end up not playing, and obviously you have your depleted hole in the linebacking core, and Aaron Rodgers plays, then yes, you're going to be playing. The defense is going to look really rough. Question is, we don't know which one of those are yeses and nos, and we probably won't know until about 30 minutes before game time when when we see it leaked on Twitter. So it'll be interesting to see. But of course, like every week, Dave, our injury report is always worse than the opposing team. So let's take a look at Pittsburgh here. Also, I hate when the opposing teams do this, bro. I had to go to the website, find like a blog article and screen. I'm like, you don't even tweet about it? Nothing? Okay, but anyways, let's get off my soapbox. But Pittsburgh Steelers week 12 injury report. So these are basically the game status names. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers, who had the wrist injury last week, questionable. I think people are expecting he will play, but a lot of it's going to deal with how well his pain can handle the snap, right? Because that's a lot of pressure on the wrist. So if he can't take the snap, then I don't think he's going to play. Darius Slay, concussion. That's always interesting to see, questionable or not. So I don't know about that one. We'll have to see. Alex Highsmith, who is one of their starting linebackers, he is doubtful. But here's the big name that came out of nowhere. Cameron Heyward, obviously one of the top 10 defensive tackles in the league for a long time. He has an ankle issue that came up, and he is questionable. And I was watching some Steelers podcast earlier this week, and they said that if they had to bet, they would actually expect Cameron Heyward to be out and Aaron Rodgers to play. So, I mean, that is a big name, especially for this offensive line. We'll take any type of help if we can, but that's a big name to look forward to. But in regards to us, we have 5 people out, and 3 of them are all in one position group, and they just have Cameron Heyward, which is a big name, right? And obviously Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't play, then obviously I think they probably have a bigger injury issue than we do. But
yeah. I've seen some
stuff to see
with Rodgers, like people, Bears fans, I want to play Rodgers. Like I don't want to play him at all. Like I hope he misses this game. I'm trying to get to 8-3, whatever means necessary, whatever way we can. I want to go back to the Bears injury report real quick.
Yeah.
Roschon Johnson being out. And I think even Travis Homer potentially being out. I'm excited about Britton Brown. We saw him a couple weeks ago, right? He had that touchdown run.
He did.
Honestly, Roschon, see ya, buddy. Like he's got to be gone.
Teams. Oh yeah, but his contract will be up, so yeah, he'll be gone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think you renew him. His special teams, sure, but I think you could find that elsewhere. But I'm excited to see Britton Brown. Wow, that's a tongue twister.
That's a tough one to say. Yeah.
Anyways, and then to the injury report, Cam Heyward. That situation's so weird because it was reported by a couple Steelers reporters, and then another Steelers reporter is like, I expect him to play. Why was he in a walking boot on Friday, but then he's like likely to play? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, that is weird. It is weird. Also, I thought it was weird how late Pittsburgh posts their injury report too. I don't know. I was like, there's not a lot of details about this stuff.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like the Bears are very upfront, and I think that's why their list is so long because they put everybody on there. They're like, oh, you got a certain type of injury. Like, we're not getting fined like the Ravens. But the Steelers, it seemed like it was very like, interesting. Are people hurt or not? You couldn't really find out much information. I get it. It's the whole, advantage game of the NFL. But, yeah, how are you in a walking boot on Friday, but you're expected to play on Sunday? All right.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. I doubt it. I doubt it. If you're in a walking boot, I doubt you play.
Yeah,
and if so, then you're just trying to fake some stuff, which is also
Nick Farbar on Twitter. He covers the Steelers for Penn Live. This is what he said. Cam Heyward officially has an ankle injury. He's questionable. I expect him to play. Darius Slay was limited practice today. He's questionable. Aaron Rodgers is questionable as well. Alex Highsmith, doubtful. Jalen Warren off the return. Anyways, I'm just shocked that Cam all of a sudden has an injury boot, and we're talking about he still may play. What is that? Is that preventative? I have no idea. I've not really seen that before.
No, if you're in a boot, it means you're trying to not put pressure on it so it doesn't hurt. So how the hell are you going to suit up and fucking play a 60-minute football game?
Same with Rodgers. I saw him throwing the ball, and it looked very wobbly, and it was like a 10-yard like dig route or something like that. He just was throwing it. We'll see, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, he wasn't in a full cast, so that's always positive on the injury note. But I think the biggest thing, especially with the wrist, right, is going to be is if he plays, I expect he will not be under center much because normally a snapback is hard and like that can put a lot of pain on the wrist. So either way, if he plays, I expect he's going to be in a lot of shotgun just to kind of, help mitigate the pain.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I just don't know the extent of it. I thought his hand was I thought it was actually a big deal when it first came out. So I'm just shocked that he even has a chance to play, man.
If it was the right wrist, I would say he probably wouldn't play. But it's the left wrist, so it's like, so it's like, okay, as long as you can catch it and kind of, like. When
but either way, even with Mason Rudolph, this Steelers team we're going to get to the team overview in a little bit, but a little frightening, just a little bit. Like,
that's what I was about to say. I was going to bring it up and be like, well, Mason Rudolph isn't as big as a drop-off as what you would expect. So at least for the Steelers, like obviously
well coached
Bears perspective, you would think so. But like, I think Mason Rudolph is 8-3 as a starter on the Steelers.
But when you look at some of the teams that we've played that were good, okay, the Lions got blown out.
Ravens
with Tyler Huntley. Blown out. Who do we lose to again? The Vikings. Okay. So, but we just haven't really beat a good team. And I would say the Steelers are a good team. They're not great or anything like that, but they're a good team. They're first in their division right now as well. But I think let's go ahead and go ahead.
Well, I'll say this and we'll go to the break. But fun fact, the Bears, every single one of their wins are against teams that are under 500 or at 500. So yeah, we haven't technically, I know record doesn't say it all, but we haven't beat a good team yet. So
I'm not worried about that because like you play who you play. I'm more worried about like the confidence in us beating a team, I guess, that has a good record because they just haven't done it. But those wins I'll take. But
we'll take them for sure. It's better than the opposite. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. This will be the first litmus test, you could say, where it's like, no, they're really
the first of many. So
this schedule's about to get
first of 7.
Good. So good luck. That's what you need, though. You need to play the good teams because it's not like the playoffs. You're going to be playing against bums. They made it to the playoffs.
Yeah, but look at the Commanders last year, Fick. They did very similar. They took a similar route where I think they didn't finish 12-5, but they beat, I think 12 of their wins or 11 of those 12 wins are against teams that finished under 500. Yeah. So they got to the playoffs, obviously made the NFC Championship game because they were playing their best football. They got hot.
Yep.
Took advantage of that. Of course, now look how quickly things changed with injuries and Jaden Daniels being out. But
wouldn't that be something like a complete flip? Because right now they're on the path of what we were last year. and maybe we could be on the path of what they were last year. All from the same game.
No, let's keep it going. Let's just
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of crazy. But that's the NFL for you. But let's get to the first ad read here, and then we'll get into the breakdown of the game. First off, thank you for watching the BFR Podcast, the number one show for the fans by the fans. If this is your first time here, please like and subscribe as it just helps our show grow and helps the algorithm get this show out to other awesome, amazing Bear fans like y'all as we're trying to grow this community. If this is your first time, also leave a hashtag New Face Gang in the chat. That's hashtag New Face Gang in the chat, and we'll give you a shout out before the end of the show. And if this is not your first time, this is your second time, you watched over 100 episodes or anything in between, then you are a true OG, and we want to show you some love as well. So please leave a hashtag OG in the chat, and we'll make sure to give you a shout out before the end of the show. Thank y'all for all the support for the number one show for the fans, by the fans, the BFR Podcast. Now let's get back to the show. Absolutely. We appreciate all you guys' support. I mean,
we're at 11,000 subscribers. We didn't even talk about it.
So shout out to all of y'all. That's crazy. You all have been fantastic. The growth has been great. We really do appreciate every single one.
I was talking to Fick before the season, and we had a goal of just making it to 10,000. And the fact that we're at over 11,000 on our way to 12 is a testament to you guys sharing the show, hitting that like button, subscribing, of course, just supporting us. So we're all Bears fans at the end of the day. This has been a fun season. Let's keep it going. So Again, thank you again. I just blown away.
No, it's crazy. You guys are fucking awesome. We really do appreciate it. All right. What's not so fucking awesome is the team overview here. We've had, just to preface, we've had more footballs than a couple of the teams, the previous weeks, right? I think the past 3 weeks, and we've won those games. This is the first time, we're not looking so hot. I wouldn't say not so hot. You can see it's 15 footballs to 13, but let's kind of go through the breakdown of what's changed for us and then also how the Steelers are looking as a team. And again, this is just an aggregation of basically all the data about how the team has been performing so far ranked against other NFL teams, okay? And it's out of 5 footballs. So on our end, kind of the same from the offense. The offense is looking like a top 10 unit, right? Moves up and down in different areas, but overall, the offense is humming. We'd like to see more from Caleb in the passing game, but the rushing game is definitely holding this team down. They've been fantastic since the bye. On the defense, though, lost the football in the pass rush because we had 0 sacks last week against the Vikings, right? Barely any pressures, not looking bueno. And then the run defense and pass defense stayed the same. So we lost a couple of footballs. I think we had 15 last week, and now we have 13. On the Steelers side, right, Dave, you said it yourself. They're a good football team. I wouldn't say great. And that kind of shows you here because kind of across the board, they're middle of the pack. But what they're really good at and actually great at is their offensive line. Their offensive line from a pass and run metrics are aggregated out to number 1. This is the first time we're facing a team that's number 1 in a position group, and that is their offensive line. That does not fare well. As you can see, there's 5 footballs for their blocking, and there's 0 footballs for our pass rush. We know how bad our pass rush is, and their offensive line does a fantastic job in protecting. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, right? I'm expecting some exotic blitzes from Dennis Allen on third down, especially if he's in dime and nickel a lot because we don't have linebackers. But this team is pretty good from a blocking standpoint. Now, I would say overall for their offense isn't like that great. I'd say the first half of the first quarter of the season, Aaron Rodgers was looking really good, like first 6-7 games. Past 3, he's had like one of the worst PFF grades in the league. He has not looked like himself, right? And so it's like, what version of Aaron Rodgers are you going to get? I think they're bottom 7 or 8 in like explosive plays and also their passing game. They're better in the run. So it'll be interesting to see how our defense goes up against that. And then on the defensive side, we should know all about this. Their defense is very much like the Bears' defense. Their defense will give up 500 million yards a game, right? I think they're 29th in yards per game allowed. I think they're worse than us, which says a lot. But they get a lot of takeaways. Not as much as the Bears, but they get a lot. So very similar kind of defense we're looking at here where it's like, you'll be able to move the ball on them. They'll probably bend, don't break, but they'll get turnovers to save their ass. And that's why they're 6-4. So definitely kind of looking in the mirror when it comes to that defensive side of the ball. Anything from that stand out to you or anything you're worried about?
That guy on your graphic, Jalen Ramsey's playing more safety. He can kind of wreck a game too still. That incident last week with him and Jamar Chase, I thought he'd be suspended too, but he didn't do anything. But I just he had a natural response. I just was hoping he would miss a game. So I like I said, this game worries me because I know you put those footballs on there, but I think this team, the Steelers team, they are. I think they're better than what the stats say. They are coached really well, of course, with Mike Tomlin. I think that offensive line you talked about, that's why if Mason Rudolph is back there, I still would be worried because if we can't get pressure, I mean, this secondary is not going to be able to cover for that long unless we have both those guys and Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon back. So we'll see. Overview-wise, the Bears, I think, have a really good opportunity to maybe win another shootout like the Cincy game. And I mean, I would love that. I would love to see Caleb and company win us another game because that was a lot of fun when they did that. Yeah, it was. It's going to be interesting, man, because I could see this going either way. We'll get to our score predictions at the end, but like this is the first time where it's like you don't really feel confident about which way this game could go. There's too many variables, and just from the injury standpoint alone, you don't know. Like just from their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Are you going to get the Aaron Rodgers Bear Killer 25-4 against the Chicago Bears? I will say this:
injury old Aaron Rodgers, or are you going to get Mason Rudolph? How is he going to play? But go ahead.
This is what I was kind of looking as far as factors here. So in Chicago, tomorrow it is going to be a high of 53.
Okay.
But I don't think that's what it's going to be like at game time. So tomorrow at the start of the game, it will be around 40-something degrees.
Oh.
It will be sunny, but it's going to be 40, get to maybe a high 40s. So Aaron Rodgers being older, if he does play, we'll see how that plays out. I know he's been playing in Pittsburgh, but, the elements maybe playing with that wind, because I think it'll be windy too, seeing how that ball, because Caleb has no problem. His arm it goes through, it pierces through the wind. It does not matter. We've seen it time and time again with him and his arm strength. So with Rodgers, obviously he used to, but he's older now. So
also that plays old people old people get cold quicker too. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's not that old, but you know what I mean? So maybe that plays a factor in it. I will say this cold does make pain. You can feel pain. I don't know if you ever had like a injury or nagging something and you've been in the cold, like it hurts way more. So that will play some factor. I'm sure he's going to be drugged and injected up so he doesn't feel anything, but there's a lot of factors here on how that's going to affect how well he can throw the football. And
one of their tight ends, Darnell Washington.
Is he a tight end or is he a Goliath? I mean, it's huge.
Listed at 264, 6'7", 264. I'm not buying that. But that's where I'm like, these linebackers, we don't have like having Tremaine back there I would have felt a lot better. But when you have Ruben Hippolyte, who's, no offense, a lot smaller. Like he's not been in the weight room as much as like some of these other guys, so he's still learning. He's a rookie. It's just going to be, some of these matchups are just, might be exploited, especially if Rodgers is back there where he can just kind of pick them apart and deliver the ball to his playmakers. Thank God they don't have George Pickens anymore. I appreciate that.
He's going crazy in Dallas, by the way.
Yeah. But overall, the team overview, it could be set up for a really good matchup. So we're going to have to just see how this one plays out. But yeah, I've had a lot of confidence before. Most games.
For sure. I mean, like I said, we haven't been playing like the greatest team, so it's easy to feel confident about. But this is the first one where you're like, oh, this is a playoff caliber team. Yeah. So really got
the Aaron Rodgers effect is real too. True. So
yeah, those battle scars take a while to heal for sure. So hopefully we won't have to deal with him anymore. This is probably the last one. But let's get to the Vegas odds, and then we'll get to the matchups and keys of the game because that's important to see how the Bears, if or will, they can win. All right, let's get to the odds here. So Vegas odds, actually surprising when I was putting this together. This at least was last night. They have Chicago -2.5, which basically means they slightly favor Pittsburgh, like slightly, but because of home field advantage. I think home field advantage is 3 points, maybe 3.5. That, they're giving the edge to the Bears. Over under 45.5, which I think is the lowest for a Bears game, or tied for the lowest. So they're not expecting a shootout. And then the money line is Chicago -148. Now, as preface, we never bet on these games. My heart can't take that, especially with this cardiac Bears team. That's a lot to carry on. But if I was going to take a bet, I might do under 45.5. I think it's going to be low because the winter weather. But what about you, Dave? Is there anything you going different? Any of those you're taking?
Let me take a look at this again. I'll be honest. I wouldn't bet this game at all. I would stay far, far away. If I were to do anything, maybe this. No, just take the Bears money line. If you want to be weird, if you want to actually bet this game, just go all out. Pick the Bears. Just do it.
I mean, it's your best odds.
It's your best odds, but you're not much. It's like it's not ideal if that makes sense. This game is just not ideal. There's other games to bet on. I wouldn't mess with this, and I never do with the Bears. But if you are kind of living in that danger zone, I guess go ahead and do it. But you can't bet against Aaron Rodgers versus the Bears either. That's just crazy.
25-4. That is crazy. 20. He's only lost 4 times to the Bears, and he played them twice a year for like a decade. So wild stuff. Yeah, I'm staying far away from this game, like you said. I think that's a good point. Just try to watch the game with ease. You don't need.
I honestly forgot money. I always forget that they have DK Metcalf.
Oh yeah, he's hard to guard.
Like he's had a good. He's a monster. What is it? How is he doing this year?
I think he's like 555 yards so far.
Yeah, 551, 5 touchdowns.
Crazy. 5 touchdowns receptions. Nice. 5 touchdowns is nice.
Yeah.
But 555 isn't anything too crazy, but I'm sure he'll get over 1,000 like he typically does.
Well, Rome is 600, 6 touchdowns, 39 receptions.
Yep.
Yeah, that's nice.
Rome's playing a little bit better. We'll take that for sure. We will take that for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the key matchups here. Starting it off, I have Caleb Williams versus the Blitz. First off, Caleb Williams last week, I know we didn't really talk about, well, we kind of did in the post game, but data came out about how much he was blitzed. He was blitzed, depending on which data source you're using. He was blitzed at a rate of like 67% to 78%. So that means Brian Flores blitzed Caleb like 3 out of 4 plays. So if there was 3, a drive has 4 downs, right? Let's say they got a first down. Basically, he blitzed them every freaking play, which is crazy to think about. And you could see that, especially that you saw how many times he would send DBs out from the side. So crazy. But why I say that's important is because we're now playing a team that blitzes at the 6th highest rate in the league. Okay. So I think they blitz at like an average like a 33%. So 1 out of every 3. So this is going to be important. Luckily, Caleb has gone against the blitz recently, and he went against it a good amount in the first week against Minnesota. So at least he's accustomed to it, but it's going to be interesting to see how he plays it off. Hopefully Ben Johnson is able to chess game, the chess match, and have some easy reads, quick dump offs, like how he did with Cole Kmet a lot last week, where he knows the hot blitz is coming off on the left side and he can just hit it to the flat. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, because that's going to be big, right? Their defensive line is nasty. Their defense is pretty good. Caleb's done a fantastic job avoiding the blitz, but sooner or later, it's just going to happen. I feel like there's going to be a game where he's not going to be able to do it as much. And I think that time might be now. So they need to figure out a best way to either attack the blitz, counter the blitz. It's going to be important, because they're going against another team that's going to send the pressure at all times. So,
yeah. Yeah, TJ Watt, like, I'm not looking forward to it. It's like, I feel like every team has like an elite edge rusher except for us sometimes. You think Max Crosby. Who do we have? Last
Vikings,
week they didn't have
Turner.
as much.
Dallas Turner, though, he did a good job.
He did, but they were missing Hunter, which was nice. But yeah.
Grenard. Hunter's on the
Grenard.
Yeah, Grenard.
And he's a DT, right?
Defensive end. He's defensive end. Mm-hmm.
So, anywho, I like Montez Sweat. He's been playing really well. But TJ Watt sometimes he's just a game wrecker too. So,
luckily he's having his worst career years, so that's helpful.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that anytime he can.
Mike Tomlin, I don't think he's at the level of Brian Flores. But you got to give him credit. I mean, he's been doing this for so long. He's gonna dial up some nice stuff. So we'll see. Ben Johnson, I feel like those guys are prepared too. Like, this offense has been, although it's been rocky at times, they still get it done. They still can move the ball. Just got to limit those drops and such that kind of have been plaguing the offense over the last few weeks. So, but I like those. I like that key right there, Vic. Mine. This is dealing with the man, number 8 on the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers versus the Bears defense. I am nervous. I am so nervous about what he can do against what we're going to be throwing out there. I will feel better, like you mentioned early in the show, if we do get Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon back. I would feel a lot better. And I feel like they can play. It's just a matter of like the risk. Do they want to win this game? Like, are they going all out, or are they really planning for, maybe to split against Philly? But in my opinion, that Philly game, I don't think that's going to be great. Like, I don't think that's a real nice matchup for us no matter what. So
that's in Philly,
if you're going to win, exactly. Yeah. So if you're going to win, take it this week, get to 8-3, and then give it your best shot against Philly. And then worst case scenario, you're 8-4 and maybe played well against, the defending champs. So
yeah, it's going to be interesting, because you don't want, they already made this mistake earlier in the season, right? They brought back, and I'm not saying they brought him back too early, but Kyler Gordon came back week 1. Same with Jalen Johnson, and they got injured immediately. So it's like,
Kyler didn't play week 1. Remember, we were like, what the hell?
Yeah, sorry, not. So JJ came back week 1. He got then injured again, out for this whole time. When Kyler came back, Kyler and TJ Edwards came back at the same time. Remember that in that same game? And then they also got injured.
Well, I don't think did Jalen start? I thought he came back against the Raiders.
Was that week 1 or week 2? I thought he started week 1 and he got injured in the first.
Maybe he did. I don't know. I thought
either way, it was like
I thought he came back. But I don't think it has. I think they're both. It's just bad luck, because he was making a diving play against the Raiders, an insane pass breakup. He basically kind of like just Superman flew, and then when he knocked the ball away, he could not brace himself, so his entire show just hit the ground hard as hell, and it's just bad luck. Kyler Gordon, soft tissue, right? He's been dealing with that. I don't think the Bears are rushing him back. It's just more of it's football, and we've just been really, really unlucky in regards to just injuries.
Also, what's the I don't know if I can remember. I'm sure it's happened, right? Because there's been a lot of players that have touched the field. Has there been a time when a player's gotten injured, come back, played again, got injured, came back, and then got injured again? You know what I mean? You've seen injured goes out.
Yeah, he hasn't missed the game. I'm talking about he gets hurt. He's going to medical.
Okay, true. Coming back. Extended time? I don't know, because normally it's they get injured, right? They come back, and then if they get injured again, it's kind of
it all depends if it's the same, if it's hamstring or a shoulder, and it messes up a shoulder again, and it's worse. Typically, if you do it a second time, it is worse. It's probably more severe. But with Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon, I don't care. I know it's their body. Come back. We need you. If you can play, even if you're 90%, I'm willing to take that risk here. Also, you're not guaranteed to be playing for something the rest of your career, Jalen Johnson. He's been with the Bears since 2020, and they have not done shit. I think they played a playoff game against the Saints.
Yeah. But they were 9-8.
Come on. Yeah. Come on. So for me, Jalen's talked about, I want to be playing meaningful games. I want to play, on a winner. Right now you're 7-3. Go help your team. If you're 90%, 85%, I think it's worth the risk to come out there. Maybe limit your snaps, but get out there. Same with Kyler. He's been injured, man. And this year it's been tough and on him. And I just miss him because he's such an electric player. But for me, I'm just saying, if these guys have the capability and they think they can play at 90%, I think it's worth the risk, especially because, no offense, your first game back against Philly, that's gonna be tough. I'd rather go against the Rodgers and company, or even Mason Rudolph, and see if you can get get your legs underneath you for a little bit. Even if you take 60% snaps, right? Yeah. Something along those lines where you're not playing, you're not your typical 90, 95% of snaps, both, especially Jalen Johnson. Usually when he's on the field, it's almost 100. Right. And then Kyler, I think his is a little bit, it can dip down into those low mid 80s. So,
well, not this week. We got no linebacker, so you're going to be on the field.
No, he will. Yeah, you're right. That's why.
For sure. But I will say this. I don't think if they don't play, that's going to be medical. Those guys want to get out there and play. Let's be real. The team's winning. You want to be out there. So if they're not out there, it's late because the medical team is like, no, sir.
If I'm Dennis Allen, I'm in that year.
Table. Yeah.
Of the Met. Oh yeah, he looks good. He looks good.
Looking like Brian Dable.
He could have came back last week, man. What are we talking about? Get out there.
Facts. He's gonna be looking like Brian Dable when he was in the medical tent with Jack Dart.
That was so funny. I know crazy. Dable gets a lot of flack for that, but I'm very similar. I would have been like, "Come on."
Well, he knows what was about to happen, right? And look what did happen. He got chopped. So he was just predicting the future. Okay, let's get to the keys of the game here. Very important. If the Bears are going to get a win, they have got to get these right. So I already talked about number one from the key matchups, but quick reads off the blitz. Let's get the ball out of Caleb's hands quick. See where that blitz is coming from, the hot, throw it to where the blitz is coming from. Let's get easy 3 or 4 yards, better than sitting back there, possibly taking a sack, getting injured. We don't need any of that. Big one, this has been the big one all year. More of the fourth down, because last week it was how many fourth downs did they not convert? And then I think the week before that, they had a lot of fourth down conversions they couldn't convert. But converting on third and fourth down, obviously that's important every week. But we definitely have to do that here. We have to extend the drives, and this will play into one of your keys of the game. But you got to keep the ball moving, okay? This defense, you can move the ball on them, so do not let them, let's get this offense rolling and humming earlier on, give ourselves a chance to win in the fourth. And then because of the lack of, linebackers and the injury bug that we've had on this team, we need to see Dennis Allen send up some exotic pressures. I will give credit to Dennis Allen because he's been fantastic in third down this year. This defense is top 5 in third down and also in the red zone, so that's fantastic. A lot of that is due to a lot of the pressures he sends on third down. Those exotic reads on some of these young quarterbacks don't know what the defense is giving them. They get confused, don't have enough time, boom, big plays happen. So I'm hoping to see more of that. He's been consistent with it. Let's keep that up, and you're going to have to this week.
Yeah.
You're going to have to. because you can't.
Gardner Johnson, we're going to see him being sent.
Kyler,
if he plays. Yeah.
Yep. You got to do that because you just do not have the body.
I don't know how if we could get all three of those guys like at the line, but Brisker, CJ Gardner Johnson, and Kyler.
We see a lot. You see a lot
that
of
would be
double
nuts.
mug. We've seen a lot of double mug this year. If you notice on third down, like there's like 7 guys on the line. Jaquan Brisker will be up there. Well, remember when Jaquan and Kyler were back week 3 or 4? I can't remember when that was.
Yeah.
There was like 2 plays in a row where they both hit the quarterback, right? So they love double mug pressure and then confusing, dropping back into coverage or sending them. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm expecting more of that, or at least the same amount of that trend because he's been doing it all year. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does the same. But those are my keys because, again, the defense is decimated, so you've got to be creative on that side of the ball. And lucky Dennis Allen can do that. But let's get to yours here.
Yep. So get pressure on Rodgers if he plays, or more Mason Rudolph. But we can't let these guys just sit back there too often. I feel like we it's not consistent as far as the pressure that I'd like to see from some of these guys. Austin Booker, he always has like 1 or 2 plays a game where he just makes either left tackle look silly and he gets either sack or he gets at least a QB hit. But just to get a little bit more consistent pressure would be very, very helpful. Secondly, don't allow explosive plays. I understand the defense is depleted, but man, sometimes we do just see some explosive plays that are just given up. They don't typically break too often, but even in regards to just the return game, not allowing these guys to get the ball at the 40, 45, every single kickoff, just these explosive plays that not just based on offense, but special teams kind of limit those. I think that's going to be important, especially with field position. And then finally, I think it's going to be a shootout. I believe it. I think it will be. And so with that, you can't settle for field goals, man. And we've said this time and time again, week after week, where I feel like they are still not there yet, where they consistently will get touchdowns, especially after turnovers, Fick, where our guys are able to take that ball away. And we still can't convert. We get the ball on the opponent 45, and we're settling for a 30, 35, 40 yard field goal. It's just disappointing, especially when that momentum, it can be, if you score 7 there, it just changes the game sometimes. Instead of you being up 6, you're up 10, vice versa. You could be up 13. You kind of stack points, you get a bigger lead. And for me, we're waiting for this team, this offense, to be able to capitalize truly on all of these turnovers, and they just haven't done it consistently. So, and if they can, that's where this team can be really dangerous, because when you score points like that, it helps your defense because it is depleted, and sometimes they are going to give up points. And so for me, no more 3. Give me 7.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it. That's all I'm saying.
No, I'm saying, that would have turned all those close games into blowouts. There was multiple times within all of the streak of games we've been winning where the defense, again, we've been leading the NFL in turnover differential and turnovers. There's been so many times where the defense has had a game where it had 2 or 3 turnovers, and we've gotten the ball on the 50, like you said, or close to, and we walk away with 3. You walk away with 7, even on 2 or 3 of those tries, you win games by double digits. Then people feel a lot different about this team because the games aren't close. You go into the fourth quarter and you just the game's over. So I agree with you completely. That's been the biggest issue of the offense for the whole season. Can it change? Sure. But they haven't figured that out yet. And also red zone offense. They are bottom 5 in the red zone scoring, which has been pretty awful. And then one other thing I want to say about explosive plays. I know it's funny, man. This is 2 weeks in a row. I tweeted about Bears have one of the worst kick returns, special team returns, right? Teams in the league. And then literally the next play, Devin Duvernay takes a yard, right? So that's funny. A little reverse psychosis there. But a reverse jinx, I should say. But when you look at their DVOA for special teams, they're 27th out of 32 on all units. They have been awful in special teams. So I agree with you. Yet, did Devin Duvernay have a fantastic play? Shout out to him. Yes, but overall, that special teams unit has given up a lot of yards, has not returned a lot of yards. The only good that's come from that special teams unit is their field goals and field goal block, because they technically had a block to save a game. So Torrey Taylor's been pretty good on punt, but like the punt return hasn't been great either. Like Miles returned a big one on us. Was that last week or the week before that? So I agree with you completely. Those keys make sense. You got to get the special teams tight, and then you got to score points, man. Sorry. Easier said than done, but it's got to be done. You've got to convert when your defense gives you a very favorable situation.
Absolutely. I like this one. Next man up.
Yep, absolutely.
Looks like the Bears elevated some players from the practice squad, though.
Okay. Who do you have the names? Who they elevated?
I do. Yeah. So this is from Adam Schefter. The Bears will count on 4th-round pick Ruben Hippolyte, veteran backup DeMarco Jackson, but they also could promote practice squad linebackers Carl Jones Jr. and Jalen Reeves-Maybin.
They just picked up Reeves-Maybin, right?
We're good now.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing like your practice squad players starting, you know what I mean? Other than your all-pro Tremaine Edmonds and his secondary all-pro.
Shout out to Rod on YouTube for letting me know about that. I saw he
Appreciate
said that
Rod.
Adam tweeted, so.
That's hilarious. Yep. That's going to be interesting to watch. So we'll see how that goes. All right, let's get to our second ad read here, and then we have our bold takes, our score predictions, headlines, and then we have our shout-outs to end the show. So appreciate y'all being here. All right, we're going to get back to the episode real quick, but I had to take a moment to pause and tell you about something awesome that we have cooking up over here at the BFR Podcast, and that is our Patreon membership. You can join our Patreon, the BFR Den, where we have a bunch of great exclusive stuff that happens monthly, like monthly giveaways, private Zoom calls, mailbag episodes, and much, much more to come. I mean, we've got tons of features in there. We've got 2 tiers. We have our top tier, which is $10 a month, our Hall of Fame tier. What comes with that, which is very exclusive, is our private Zoom calls with our members. So every month, you're going to get a private Zoom call with me, Dave, and Jack, and we just get to talk about whatever, shoot the shit, football, life. It's a wonderful time. And then if you want to go to the lower level, we have our Rookie Grizzly tier, which is $3 a month. And what that includes is like the private Discords, the monthly giveaways, the free merch, all the events if we have coming up, things like that, access to exclusive merch that's only for our Patreon members, and any other cool features. You'll get that at the $3 level tier. And then with the $10 level tier, you will get the private Zoom call as well. Now, you can join for free. We do post our monthly calendars in there, so you can kind of see what we have going on each month. And we post our episodes there as well. So if you want to join that ongoing community, which we keep building up, please do so at the BFR Den on Patreon. Also, as well, we give a shout out to all of our Patreon members every single episode that we do. So if you join, we'll make sure to show you some love on every episode as well. So again, you can join the BFR Den on Patreon at the BFR Den on Patreon. And we just love the support. You guys are great. Shout out to all our Patreon members, and let's get back to the show. Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate it. If you want to join the Patreon, you can. Link in the description. Also, the link in the Discord as well. That is free to join. Technically, both free to join. We appreciate all your support there. Got a bunch of great contests and giveaways going on in there like we always do. Dave and I always be giving away free shit. So if you just want to have a chance to win some free shit, make sure to join both. Appreciate it. And we have our call. Is that next week, I think, for our Patreon members? Yeah, I think so.
I believe so, yep.
Yeah. So if you want to get in, you got a week or so to get into the Patreon, $10 tier. You'll be a Hall of Fame Grizzly, and you'll get the private Zoom with me, Dave, and Jack, which are always fun. We got a pack house last time. So appreciate all the love and support. Again, you can check out the links below in the description. Okay, Dave, let's get to the bold takes. God, we are awful in the bold takes. It's not going great. I texted you during the game last week after that first drop because your bold take was no drops. And I was like, God damn, lost that one quick. Don't worry, I lost mine too. As you can see here, it reflects on our record 3-7, looking like the last year Bears record. Not great. But guess what, Dave? That all turns around this week as I have the Bears defense gets 2+ turnovers. I think it's the only way they can win the game. And the data shows they are undefeated when they get 2 turnovers or more. So I'm hoping they can do that. That is my bold take. How many did they have last week? They had 3. They've been on a roll, so it's maybe not bold. The only thing is if Aaron Rodgers plays, he doesn't turn the ball over much. The only time he turns the ball over is like a strip fumble. He does not throw a lot of picks, right? Throughout his career, that's been Aaron Rodgers' MO. So if it's Mason Rudolph, I feel a little bit, more likely that it can happen, but that's my bold take. What about yours?
Yeah, I have Caleb Williams will throw an interception. You talked about Aaron Rodgers. His MO is not throwing picks. I would say Caleb Obviously, he kind of is very similar in that regard. Obviously, he loves Aaron Rodgers and how he's played the game, kind of emulates some of those things, and you see it with how he kind of protects the ball and not putting it in harm's way. But this week, my bold prediction, for some reason, I just feel like he's going to throw a pick, and we'll see. I mean, it happens, right? It's going to happen, occasionally. I think he only has 6 this year, maybe 5.
I think 5. Yeah. When was his last pick? It's been a minute. Was it that one he was rolling out of bounds and thought Rome was going to go upfield? You know what I mean? And he
against the Ravens.
No, I'm thinking Lions. No, he's definitely had a pick since then.
I thought he had a pick against the Ravens. Remember?
Yeah, you're probably right. It wasn't
I'll give you it.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's been a minute though, so you might be right. He might be due for one.
So his last interception was against the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah,
and then he had one against the Saints as well. And then he had one against the Raiders and then one against Detroit in week 2. So he only has 4 interceptions on the season.
Crazy. That's wild.
Really good.
That's really good. But you might be right. Look, for a
13th
4-game
in passing yards.
Yeah, that's pretty good. We'll take that. But I mean, look, you might be right. There might be an interception coming. This team is the defense loves takeaways. So I wouldn't be surprised. Hopefully not, obviously, but it's definitely, he might be due. Unfortunately, that's how the NFL works sometimes. Okay, let's get to the score predictions. Now, these are a little bit more favorable. It's like literally the reverse of what our bold predictions are. You're at 6-4. I'm at 7-3. I've been aligned with the team so far. But this is where we differ this week. I'll kick it off here. But I actually have the Bears winning. Not by a lot and not scoring a lot, but 20-17. When I was doing this, my expectation was that'd be Mason Rudolph starting. If Aaron Rodgers is starting, I might predict them to lose. I don't know. They could still win. But again, I'm so on the fence. I've never been less confident about a game this season than this week. But I'm going to probably say 20-17. Now let's get to yours. This is where, a little interesting.
I have the Bears losing this one, 24-23. I don't care if it's Mason Rudolph or Aaron Rodgers. I just don't feel great about this. I think the Bears are kind of due for a letdown here, and this is going to be a close game. And at the end of the day, I just don't think they get it done. This is not what I want to happen. It's just kind of my gut feeling.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that.
Look, we've won every close game.
I'm trying to take my fandom out of this and be objective. You're at home though, so I feel like it's a tough one to pick. I'm hopefully maybe going for a jinx here. We'll see.
Look, the Bears have had a lot of luck, not from the injury standpoint, but from the game output, the results of the game. They've had a lot of luck in their favor sooner or later, right? I mean, I could be wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if the tides turn. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean they go on a losing streak per se, right? It doesn't mean the season's over, but the ball has been bouncing favorable their way most of the season. So you're right. It's going to be an interesting one. This is definitely, I won't say a trap game because the Steelers are a good team, but this is definitely a game where the Bears have an opportunity to win, but might just not bring out their best A game, which is unfortunately so. Oh, and then I just want to bring this up because Dave, you talked about him. This is kind of the talk of the week, but Plaster Rockets here said that one player who's talking about Darnell Washington that has like 300 pounds, dude's going to be a problem. Yeah, it's going to be hard to guard a 311-pound tight end when all of your linebackers are out. So going to be an interesting one. So we'll see how it goes. Me and you, first time split on a game since like week 4, I think, or something like that. It's been a minute. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But let's get to the Monday headlines here. So no doom and gloom from me per se. Not to say Dave is doom and gloom, but I have Bears steal the win. Look at that. And that's so clever. So I think they get the win. I won't feel happy. I'll feel happy about the win, but I think it's going to be like a lot of the wins this season where there's still a lot of questions up in the air. But in the NFL, you never apologize for winning. A win is a win. So if they go to 8-3, I don't give a fuck how they did it. They did it. I'll take it. And we'll worry about the Super Bowl champions next. I mean, also in the same week on Friday, but I'm hoping they can get that, making Caleb Williams 1-0 and hopefully the only game he plays against Aaron Rodgers. What a beautiful way to send Aaron Rodgers packing. But that's what I have for my Monday headline. What about you, Dave?
I like that one. I just said Bears haunted again. I think Aaron Rodgers plays, and I think he beats us. And again, I'm hopefully going for a jinx here, but I'm trying to just, this one I said it at the top of the show, I don't feel good about this game at all. Mike Tomlin, I would really be sick if you were playing in Pittsburgh, but you're at home, so that's where I like that a little bit. However, they got to prove this one to me. That's what I'll leave it at. The Bears, Caleb. I have no doubt if this game's close that he can deliver. I just show me one more time. show me against Rodgers.
Right. No, I think it's about to go into a perfect point. I'm going to say a perfect segue. I know every week is a must win and every week is a statement game, right? People throw that around all the time. But why I actually mean that for this game is because of some of those factors you mentioned, right? You haven't beat good teams, right? Record wise. And I'm not holding that against you, right? But a lot of people who are holding back and like, well, are the Chicago Bear frauds, blah, 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 is because of that. Whether it's right or wrong, that's not my decision. But that's kind of the narrative that's going around. You're also going against possibly Aaron Rodgers, the Bear killer, the Bear owner, right? Owns the Chicago Bears. Last time he said that when he was in Chicago and Soldier Field and whooped our ass. So if you want to show to the world, prove to yourself, not that you guys don't have full confidence and belief in yourself in the locker room. I'm sure you do. You've won a lot of games. But if you really want to have that statement, like, no, we're not fucking around this year, you win this game. You walk away, you're 8-3. And you beat Pittsburgh, and now you're on a roll again, another, 4-game win streak, and now you play the Super Bowl champions on Friday, right? That means something, right? You go right into another statement game, but I think the narrative about the team, even I think the belief in the locker room gets a little bit better, but
the statement game is, it could, if you win it, it definitely is. However, it's a measuring stick too. You're expected to lose. If we lose, it's okay. That's why this one I think means a lot. Where you need to. This is a winnable game at home.
Yes,
you got to find a way, even with all these injuries. Find a way to get to 8-3, and then have kind of like a what's that saying? Where you're just playing with a lot. They're going to play with a lot of freedom. Where
you're like playing with the house money, like playing with
house money, where you're expected to lose. 8-4 is you can manage 8-4.
Yeah,
you'll deal with it, but you have that. You don't have as much pressure. You lose the game, that's okay, but you go win it. You're 9-3. You lose today, or I'm sorry, tomorrow. You're 7-4. All of a sudden, you could be 8. You can be 7-5. Yeah. Maybe a game behind. You were a game ahead in the division. Now you're a game behind. You're maybe in the final place for the wild card. Things start to get tight, pressure, and these games at the end of the season are always going to matter, but they'll matter that much more if you drop these next two. So, anywho.
No, that's a good point, though. Like, that getting that buffer is going to – obviously, every win helps, but, like, getting this one particularly because it is a winnable game gives you that buffer. So if you do lose to a Green Bay once, which is very plausible, or lose to the Super Bowl champs, very plausible, or to Detroit again, very plausible. Really, really, really good teams, even though Packers record doesn't show it, but like statistically they're doing pretty well. Then, you're giving yourself that extra loss here and there that you can still have a chance to be fighting for the playoffs, right? Or even win the division because you technically are first right now. So I agree with you completely. They need to take care of business here, but going against Aaron Rodgers is never an easy task. Okay, good stuff. Going to be a fun game, of a great matchup. We're going to go to our ad reads here. Obviously, we'll go through the questions and that. We'll give the shout outs to our Patreon and whatnot, like we always do to close out the show. Again, appreciate all of you guys being here, supporting us. I know this was an earlier Saturday one. We had a little bit of plans later, so we had to knock this one out, but appreciate every single one of you guys being here. It's fantastic, and we're definitely excited for Sunday and hope you are as well. All right, before we close out the show, I got to tell you about some awesome stuff that we have cooked up on the BFRstore.com. As you can see here, we have hats, hoodies, mugs, stickers, a whole bunch of fire stuff, and we're always working on new creative designs. Maybe jerseys coming. Who knows? But you can check it all out at thebfrstore.com. All the proceeds from the merch store just goes back right into the show. And plus, we want to give you fire stuff because we want to look fly all the time, and we want y'all to look fly as well. So if you want to support the BFR show, go to the BFRstore.com. We appreciate all the love and support. Now let's get back to the show. Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, let's get to the comments here. Let's get to the OGs in the chat. We got some guy named Dave. Perfect first name. That's a Patreon member as well. Hashtag OG. Appreciate that, Dave. We got Michael Berry Sr., also Patreon member. Hall of Fame Grizzly says, so the starting linebackers this week, Ficky, Dave, and Jack. Hashtag OG. No, I would get injured. I would be added to the injury report real quick. So hopefully that's not the case. We got Eater Scott here on YouTube with got here late, but hashtag OG. Appreciate that, Eater. We were definitely a definitely earlier one, or I should say, appreciate that, Scott. That's the actual name, but appreciate the love there. And then we got TJ as well. Woo Wit here on YouTube with a Bears win, 27-23. I feel that either way, I feel like this is going to be a close game. So appreciate all of you in here, the OGs. If this is your first time as well and you didn't comment, that's totally fine. But we appreciate everyone that's been rocking with us because we're now almost on episode 200, which is crazy to think about. But appreciate all the support. You guys are freaking awesome. Also, I give a shout out to our Patreon members, Hall of Fame Grizzlies. I already mentioned some of you, but Michael from across the pond. We got Gage. We got Phil, Michael Berry, who's in the chat. Angie, hopefully you enjoyed your mug. We got Daniel Jones across the pond. Thomas, hope you enjoyed your shirt. Tito, and then Dave, who I just gave a shout out to, but shout out to you again. Appreciate your guys' support. Let's go to our rookie Grizzly members. Got to give a shout out to Alex, who's probably lifting as we speak. Chris, Ethan, Caleb, awesome first name. Jason, and our newest member, Megan. We appreciate all of you as well. And again, if you want to get shout outs on every single episode, we never skip. You can join the Patreon, link in the description. Free tier if you want to see what's going on. We have our $3 tier, our rookie tier, and then we also have our Hall of Fame Grizzly tier, which gets you the access to the private Zoom call, which we have next week. And then also we give a shout out to our Discord winners as well. So Discord, you can join, free to join. We have contests in there all the time. We have a weekly contest where it's just like a score predictions. So we got to give a shout out to our Discord predictions winner of the week, which is at Only One Lone on Discord. Shout to you. I think it's your second time winning. So congrats on that. He won a $5 gift card to the BFR store. And again, we give away gift cards to our merch all the time in there. So free to join. You can do that in the Discord. We also have an invite competition going on in there as well. So if you go in there, refer a friend, we're giving away some free shit. So really appreciate that as well. So again, shout out to all of you OGs, you know, first time listeners, your new face gang. Also, we got to give a shout out to our Spotify, Apple listeners. You guys have been killing it over there. Appreciate all the comments and the love and the reviews over there. If you please give us a 5-star review or, you know, give us some feedback if there's some stuff you'd like to see. You can join the Discord, which is free. A bunch of cool shit going on in there, especially hype during game days, which is awesome. And then also, if you want to join the Patreon, we have a bunch of free shit in there, free giveaways, merch, exclusive merch in there. Obviously, the Patreon call. So a whole bunch of stuff to get interactive with Dave, me, and Jack. And we're just trying to build this community up because this is the Bears Film Room Podcast, which is the number one show for the fans, by the fans, because Dave and I are fans like y'all. We go through the highs, the lows, all the emotional roller coasters. So we're trying to build out a community that puts the fans first because we're fans just like y'all. So we appreciate y'all being here, tuning in to Bears Film Room Podcast, the number one show for the fans, by the fans. All right, Dave. Any final words?
Nope. Hope I'm wrong. And like I said, like Ficky said, we'll be here tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon to kind of recap the game right after, give you our instant reactions like we always do. So again, appreciate the support like Ficky mentioned. Continue to like, subscribe, and it's just the best way to support the show. And I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see you tomorrow. Bear down.
See. Peace.